Hello guys, my name is Anna and I'm a Ukrainian, and I have decided I will vlog daily from my country Ukraine since the start of this awful war with Russia. And in my daily videos I try to update you on the important real-life situations in my country Ukraine, and of course I'm always glad to answer your questions and to clarify some facts from our history, our culture, our background, or whatever interests you. And today is a kind of vlog I hate recording because I have to speak about terrible things that are happening right now in my country, Ukraine, due to the invasion of Russian soldiers and Putin's regime that must be prosecuted just as Nazis. Maybe you have already heard that they have executed many POWs or captives, Ukrainian Azovstal soldiers and doctors. And definitely this is one more crime against humanity that Russia has committed during this war. And at the same time, one more crime that will simply be put in the list of Russian crime, and people will still continue thinking about gas, oil, and how can we save Putin's face. From my grandmother's stories, I remember some of her memories. She was a child during the Second World War, and she had many memories about Nazi soldiers who were kept in some of the Ukrainian camps just after the end of the Second World War. And even taking into account her memories, nothing that awful happened to them. Sometimes they did not have normal clothes. Definitely people expressed hatred towards them, but they were not tortured, they were not executed, and even kind Ukrainian people gave them some potatoes to eat and tried to cure if they were seriously ill or seriously injured, because that's the way people treat people. What Russians do definitely goes against all the rules of war and all the rules of normality. A day ago, they have executed more than, well, like, it's difficult to speak about the numbers. Some people say 50, some say 75, but there are lots of victims of Ukrainian POWs who were asked to go out of Azovstal. They were promised life, they were promised normal conditions. And it seems to me that all the international organizations, starting from the Red Cross and finishing with United Nations, and also Pope, who has a very weird position in this war, and all of these organizations, all of these respected people, and even our president, who believed that everything, all of these discussions, they encouraged soldiers of Azovstal and people who were hiding there to go out and to accept the reality and to become prisoners of war. Because according to Geneva Convention and other things, prisoners of war are guaranteed some basic rules. And what is more importantly, all the international communities, they traditionally keep a close eye on what is going on to the prisoners of war, because like everybody knows where they are, everybody knows how many of them are there. Anyway, they are recorded, and their future, it must be somehow defined, because they act according to these international rules that have, if they exist, if these international organizations, if these international conventions exist, they exist for a particular reason, to normalize situations like that. And we see that Russia traditionally ignores everything and traditionally commits awful crimes against humanity here in Ukraine. And the execution of these soldiers, of these captives, is very cruel and really awful. And they were shot with artillery. They were brought to that prison in Olenivka. Many of them had questions like why they switched to this location, and then they shot with artillery, and many of them burned and they died. And this is a very tragic, one more tragic page in the life of Ukraine. Moreover, traditionally manipulating public opinion, they try to say that this was Ukrainian act. Definitely, there were no reasons for us to shoot our own people, and all the recordings of many people keep close eye on what is going on here in Ukraine, so it will be impossible for them to blame us because everything is visible, everything is recorded, and definitely that's a typical act of Russian org army. But this is all very, very sad, and this is very demotivating. And all those soldiers that followed the international rules of war and believed they will be exchanged for other Russian captives, now we see how Russia does to people. Also, recently they have put on Telegram channels a video where they execute, where they torture a Ukrainian soldier and castrate him. And all of that is became viral on social media. And that is another way of informational war, another crime committed against humanity, and definitely it is to frighten people. But the problem is that to frighten people, to make themselves look strong or feel strong, they use totally inappropriate things, totally inappropriate tools. They are not doing it because they have smart commanders, because they have brave soldiers, or because they have innovative weapons. They have stupid drinking commanders, they have orcs or zombies instead of soldiers that loot and rape and kill children. They have old, outdated weapons that go back to 1960s or even older times. And they frighten people only by the level of the evil that lives inside of them, by those borders, moral, spiritual, logical, human, that they cross anytime they commit a crime here. And definitely it is not a kind of fear that causes respect, because sometimes you're afraid of something, but at the same time you feel respect for your enemy. I have no respect for Russian soldiers. I have no respect for Russian actions, military, and their only strength is their violence, darkness of their souls, and stupidity of their brains. So definitely I have read that the United States are working on the idea of Russia as a terrorist state, and this is something that we greatly need. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. This helps me to provide more information about my country. And today I will leave one more link to our video project and an interview with a Ukrainian soldier who is living, working, and protecting Ukraine on the very front. Slava Ukraini!